Hello everyone, how are you? And welcome back to my channel. In case you don't know me, I'm Anita Mateo, I'm Cuban, and I live in Spain. And today we're going to be talking about a pretty interesting topic that I'm sure many of you have questions about or are interested in learning more about. And it's about the good and the bad of this job on social media. How have I supported myself for 2 years on social media? If I've ever thought about quitting, if I plan to quit in the future, if I think this is going to be forever, I'm going to be sharing my perspective. I've experienced both good and bad things since becoming a content creator, especially here in Spain. It's very different from when I was in Cuba. Doing it here in Spain and being here alone, so to speak, without our people and having to support ourselves doing this. And of course, I'm not alone. And here with me is Gretel Space, who I haven't recorded with in a while. We're having breakfast and getting ready to discuss topics for the live show.
Very good and interesting. I know many people have the same questions we'll address today.
By the way, I want to show you this that I just received. It's this tripod. Look, it's great because it fits in your bag and you can take it everywhere. I know many of you create content, want to create content, and need tools to record yourselves on the street and elsewhere. And well, I want to show you this tripod, which is great. This tripod is perfect for traveling. Here I'm showing you how you can take it apart and place it wherever you want. It opens very easily. It's stable and durable. You can tell it's made of really good material and you can use it on different surfaces. It has a 180-degree tilt so you can set it up horizontally or vertically, and it comes with a magnetic Bluetooth remote control. Well, honestly, it's really awesome. And my favorite thing is that you can fold it up and it becomes really small. You store it and you can take it everywhere with you. So, well, I'm going to leave you my discount code and the link in case you want to buy it. Thank you. Look, it's true that working on social media isn't the hardest or most demanding job, like, for example, a doctor, a lawyer, a carpenter, or a waiter. There's no comparison. They are, so to speak, harder work, and they're also the traditional jobs we're used to. Even being an engineer, which is what I studied, if I decided to practice it, it would be a much riskier, much harder job than being a content creator. But just because I say all that doesn't mean that being a content creator isn't hard. It's also a difficult job, and it has its downsides and sacrifices. The thing is that the world evolves and technology constantly creates new ways of working, new ways to generate income. And currently being a content creator, whether people like it or not, is a job. Because when you build an audience, you create a community, you know how to communicate, and you manage to build what we've built, well, you can generate income, you can make money this way. It's true it's comfortable now, but it took a long time to get here. I didn't just turn on the camera and start making money. It took about 4 years to achieve this. And of course I enjoy its good things, but it also has its downside and something that affects me a lot in my daily life. I think what you sacrifice the most in this job is your mental health. It may not be a physically demanding job where you have to get up super early every day, but your mental health can be really compromised sometimes. And it can affect you in your daily life in ways you can't even imagine. I don't even think everyone is prepared to do this job. And obviously I have to be very grateful for having managed to earn an income through this, which I like, which is communicating with you, sharing my life with you, being able to help you, being able to entertain you. That's why I don't really like complaining so much, but I do want to talk to you about the bad side. Without this job today, our reality would be very different, right, Gretel? We could be doing anything else right now, but it has its downside too, and we can talk about that as well. What do you think has affected you the most? This job on social media, what's the worst part? Let's save that for later. Did you already have it? Yes, you were about to tell me. It's just that your mind works against you so many times and you have to be really strong to keep going, to reinvent yourself, to keep your audience interested. Sometimes people lose interest in what you want to share or discuss. And you also have to be really strong when you decide to leave this job and look for another normal job because you just can't keep going here anymore. Because there are people who have also decided to do this. And this idea of leaving this job for my mental health, believe me, has crossed my mind so many times. And you, Gretel, have you ever thought about leaving this kind of social media work?
So many times. In fact, I've thought about looking for a job somewhere else, but also because of my situation with my 2 daughters, with both of them solely in my care, it doesn't really allow me to, you know? I don't have anyone else to take care of them. That's why I have, thank God, this YouTube job, which allows me to move around, manage my time, and at the same time generate income. But yes, I've thought many times about quitting YouTube because there comes a point when you get tired, it overwhelms you, like you just don't have it anymore. Sometimes you just don't feel like recording a video. And I've thought many times about quitting and finding a job, whatever it may be. but nothing related to social media, because being so involved also wears you out, having people on top of you all the time. You always feel like you're being watched, and eventually your mind gets overwhelmed. I've had days when I say I never want to make YouTube videos again. I just want to stop and I don't want to do it anymore, but I keep doing it because in the end it's my job, I like what I do, and I earn money from it.
And now let's talk about the best things about this job, and then we'll talk about the worst.
One of the best things about this job we do is the freedom we have when it comes to our schedule, because, for example, we don't necessarily have to get up at 8 in the morning, working shifts, split shifts like most people here do until 12, then coming in the afternoon, leaving at night. You have a big advantage because you can film and do your work at your own pace without that pressure of having to get up at dawn or having to wake up at 7 in the morning to go to work or take public transportation to get there. Here, it's just clear. That can work against you too, since managing your own schedule can make you too comfortable. You might keep saying you'll record or do things later and end up procrastinating. But it's true that it's really comfortable to be your own boss when it comes to your schedule. Having that freedom to say, well, I'm going to record today at 10 in the morning or I'm going to record at 10 at night. If I don't sleep during the day, that's my problem, but I can do it whenever I want.
And well, that can also work against you. It's true that maybe we're not the ones who get up the earliest to work, but maybe we're the ones who go to bed the latest. Because there are many times when editing takes hours and you have to spend, at least I do, sometimes I've been editing until the early morning. And that's why, of course, the next day I wake up late. Because when you don't have a fixed schedule, your schedule is the whole day. You can be working all day, and even more so because it's a job where you're thinking all the time, generating ideas. So there are times when literally I don't get up early, but I spend the whole day working until late. Editing, recording, it's like it's a lifestyle. This job is a lifestyle. Your whole life revolves around this. Another thing I really like about this job is the connection you make with many people. For example, in our case, being immigrants and coming here to Spain, we've met so many people, so many of you who watch us, and we've created a beautiful virtual friendship here. And also people I've met, like in real life, friendships I've made thanks to them. And that's one of the things that, at least for me, I like most about this job, because I've made wonderful friendships thanks to YouTube, like for example Gretel, whom I met thanks to YouTube. And also people from here who teach me more about their customs, their traditions, people from Spain that I communicate with. It's something beautiful that I really like, and another great thing about this job is that it's one of my favorite parts. It's, well, brand collaborations you can do. Back in Cuba, I never imagined anything like this. For example, they give you a product and you have to do some kind of promotion, a collaboration, but in the end they're giving you a product that you'll be using. That's also a really good part of this job.
A very important thing about our job is to share our culture and our identity through the videos. This way, more people learn about Cuban life. How do we as immigrants adapt after leaving Cuba? What is our country's reality? I was recently in Cuba and documented it as well, and Anita has traveled to Cuba twice too. There are many people who live here in Spain who don't know our reality, who don't know how we live, what our day-to-day life is like. And through this platform, we can show the whole world what life is really like for a Cuban. It's something that, for example, I really like, because in the end, it's our country, for better or worse, with or without a dictatorship. But it's our country, it's our reality, and I think the whole world should know about it. And I think this platform is perfect for that, and I'm glad to be able to do it, and that Anita does it too, and that all Cuban content creators do it through YouTube.
It's also thanks to YouTube. And we say this because a lot of people write to us and we know it. We give a lot of tips so that other migrants who come here can get an idea of what life is like here through our experiences. At least I do. Many people write to me saying I've helped them.
And we've met people who have told us, we're living here. Don't you remember that one time? Well, one of the many times we ran into someone. A gentleman moved here after watching your videos about Caballo, Carvalho, and other places I showed you. That's why he chose Coruña.
It's incredible how you learn how things are, since sometimes you arrive with no guidance and have no idea where anything is. But through this platform, it's a way to let people know, for example, where you get your transportation card, tips for helping people, to make this process a little bit easier for them. And I say this because people have written to me saying that I've helped them, not because I'm making it up.
No, and because we've also met people on the street who have told us the same thing. And that's very satisfying, being able to help people with a YouTube video. People may think they're just recording and talking about something else, it's nothing more. But your work also lends itself to helping another human being, and that's very satisfying, at least that's how I feel.
It's one of my favorite things now too. Negative things, number one, the stress and anxiety. I already told you that this job What you sacrifice the most is your mental health, your emotional stability, and one of the things that affects you the most is the stress and anxiety it can cause you.
Other content creators will back us up on that. This is a job that, although it may seem easy, it's actually not that easy. Because you have to spend many hours thinking, and that makes you feel overwhelmed and tormented, and at some point you have to stop because your mind just can't think anymore, since you're always thinking, generating ideas. It's not like another job where you just do something fixed. Well, today I'm going to work as a waitress. That's it. That's my job. But here you have to be generating ideas all the time. What should I record for my next video? What title and thumbnail should I use to make people interested in what I'm doing? And that, for me, it really gets on my nerves.
I think I live every day with anxiety. There's not a single day when my mind is calm, like I could say, I feel so peaceful. No. Every day, even if I'm on vacation, even if I say, look, I'm going on a trip to disconnect, I'm always anxious. Like, I start thinking, what am I going to do next week?
When I have a live stream, I feel calm. It's when I already have a video finished that I say, oh, today I'm not going to stress about anything. Not today, but then the next day I say, I have to record. I still have things left over from the previous week.
Or edit and edit.
Edit? There are people who like it, but I don't like editing.
I used to like it, but I don't like it that much anymore. It's just so much.
You have to strain your eyes, spend many hours sitting there, dedicating yourself to it, because it's cutting, pasting, putting everything where it needs to go. Recording, it's not just recording for the sake of recording, it's recording with a purpose. Everything has to have a purpose.
We often record things in different places, then have to organize and remember where we said everything.
It also needs to be clear so people understand your message, making it complicated.
Of course, there's also the constant worry about followers, the number of views, staying up to date with trends. Social media is always changing, and people lose interest if you don't offer something new. There's always another creator with more appealing content, so you must keep reinventing yourself. All of this creates incredible anxiety. There are many people who leave social media, like me,
who can't handle the pressure and stress. Work, not work, that job is constant stress.
Exactly, that's one of the reasons why I've also thought about quitting at some point.
Something that causes me a lot of stress is not always knowing how much I'm going to earn each month. I swear that gives me heart palpitations. Because if you had a basic salary, you'd say, well, look, my basic salary is 2,000 euros, and that's it. I don't care about anything else. Whatever I do, that's going to be my salary. But here, you never know what you're going to get.
Every month is different, but that's another topic. Another issue with this job is social comparisons. It's just that, look, there are so many content creators and so many who are really good and really creative that sometimes you feel bad. One day you watch some really great content and you compare yourself and you start to question if you're good enough, if what you're doing is worth it. And always, of course, there are comments that say, oh, what you do is useless, so-and-so does it better. And I mean, sometimes those kinds of comparisons can affect you, even though I think I handle it pretty well, because I know I'm not the best at editing or the best at doing things. At least I know there are people who will watch me and care about me, and that makes me happy.
Honestly, I've never compared myself to...
What genuine self-esteem?
No, but I have to be honest, I won't compare myself. I need your self-esteem. I know there are other people who are better than me, but so what? What? There are...
To take it as inspiration that we can do it too, of course.
That motivates me. I haven't achieved it yet, but seeing how well he does makes me want to do it better. Still, I won't compare myself. Does that mean I've never felt it?
I have. I think that says it better. And, well, now I'm going to tell you one that affects me a lot and has affected me a lot lately, and that's social isolation. The fact that we have a virtual community or talk to people virtually doesn't replace face-to-face contact, and many times this work is very lonely. We spend a lot of time alone. For instance, I spend a lot of time alone at home and sometimes need to socialize because being alone so long without talking can be harmful. That's why I sometimes visit Coruña to talk with Greta Gretel. Being without friends works against you. And even more so when you're an immigrant, when you're far from your community, far from your people, far from your roots. And at the same time, you do a job where you spend a lot of time alone.
Look, I totally understand you right now because, for example, before, when I also lived alone and did the same thing as you, recording videos, it was just too much loneliness. That's why I used to go to Anita's house a lot because I felt very lonely. Because yes, you're recording a video, but there's a moment when you're filming, talking to a camera, and there's no one in front of you.
Of course, it's not like you're talking to someone face to face.
No, that isolates you from so much.
Yes, it isolates you, but when you get another job, you still have stress like any job, but you start socializing again.
You socialize with people. Of course, here you socialize with no one.
Some people make friends and meet others faster because they socialize more. For us, it's harder, and maybe the only people we know are also people who work on social media, of course, because it's harder for us to have friends from work, you know what I mean? Because it's a lonely job. Another negative aspect, cyberbullying and criticism. The criticism and cyberbullying, so far I've handled it pretty well, because what I do is just ignore it, that's it, you know? I just block and ignore them. It affected me a bit at first, but it's about knowing how to handle it.
I think that over time you gain experience, and this job itself teaches you to say, well, look, you're harassing me and I already know what I have to do with you. But there are even people who have gone so far as to file complaints against stalkers.
Complaints against stalkers.
I've had people who have harassed me, especially during the time when I was living here alone. I used to tell stories to Anita and had 2 or 3 subscribers who seemed obsessed with me. Honestly, I felt scared at times since I was living alone. Some people can become obsessed with you and you can't predict what they might do. You need to be cautious. I had someone who almost followed me to where I live. I told her about it. So if you see this video, look, control yourself because I have my eye on you. Do you understand? You also need to avoid those other 3 I know about.
And another thing, which is actually a negative part, is what we were talking about earlier, that you don't have a fixed salary. Your earnings depend on the videos you upload and how well they perform with viewers. But a lot of people always ask, how much do you make on YouTube? But you don't earn the same every month. There are months when things can go really well for you, and there are months when things can go really badly. If you feel bad and don't want to record, things will go badly. So even when you're sad, you have to put on your best face and keep working. And sometimes that affects you too, because just like any job, you can feel sad, but when it's time to work, you have to put on your best face.
Yes, it's true. That's the same in every job. You have to go to work and put on your best face even on bad days. But in this job, I feel even more exposed. Because you have to convey to someone through a camera when you're not feeling well. I think that's very hard to do. Because in a job, for example, if I go as a waitress and I'm having a bad day, I'm not going to be rude to people, but that's just what I have to do. I go like a robot, well, I have to go, good morning, what would you like, and so on. Here it's about conveying. Maybe I'm talking or recording something about happiness like Christmas, while inside I'm destroyed but still have to show happiness.
And sometimes people notice, like they see your sad face, I don't know.
Sometimes you just can't pretend. This isn't fake. It's 100% real and complicated.
And also, being a content creator isn't just about recording yourself. It's not just editing. You have to be your own marketer. Be a marketer. Is that how you say it? Like being your own editor, your own community manager, your own photographer, your own camera woman. Sometimes you're your own script writer.
It's like making a movie alone.
Exactly. Every time you publish a video. Exactly. You take on all the roles yourself because we don't have a team, and we're not like the super famous YouTubers who have a team behind them. And all of that, I don't know, it stresses you out, you know? Because you have to be doing things all the time. Plus, it's also very normal to have good streaks and bad streaks.
I think that's happened to all of us YouTubers, honestly. There are times when the videos do really well, yes. No matter the topic, you can hook your audience, and sometimes things go so well you might make even better content, yet it still doesn't always work out for you, of course. And that can also discourage you a little and make you think, well, I'm not going to record more videos because if people don't want to watch them anymore, why should I keep doing this? Yes. And that's where consistency and perseverance come in. Like, yes, I'm going to keep doing it because eventually things will pick up again. Obviously, things aren't always going to go the way you want. I wish they would, but that's not how it is. But there will come a time when things will go well for you again. So you have to keep up that consistency and perseverance.
It's true that in the end, like I already told you, it's not the hardest job in the world or the most important one like being a doctor or a lawyer, but it does have its downsides. Many of you may dream of being content creators but don't realize everything it takes, or you just see us on screen and think recording ourselves is all we do.
Many people believe they can just record and upload a video to become a YouTuber, but it's not that simple. Monetizing a channel is actually very challenging. I think the beginning is the hardest part, and then staying consistent is also tough. But making money through social media is not something easy. Like everyone thinks, okay, tomorrow I'm going to be a YouTuber, I'm going to record a video, and I'm going to make 1,000 euros every month. It's not like that. You have to build a community, and that takes time and dedication.
It takes years.
It's about connecting with people, getting their attention, making them interested in you and what you teach them. Even if you're only teaching how to fry an egg, people should enjoy watching you and feel a connection
with them. You need to have charisma, you need to have personality.
And then at the beginning, well, you have to meet all the requirements that YouTube asks for, like 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in less than a year.
That part is super hard. For me, that was the hardest thing to achieve.
We managed to monetize. You know that when a year goes by and you haven't achieved that,
it's like, of course, your time keeps running out and you have to start all over again.
I'm not going through that, I swear. Subscribe to my channel, I'm so itchy.
Subscribe to Gretel's channel. Thanks so much, Gretel, for joining me again. People had been asking for another video with you since it's been a while. Of everything I shared, what's your favorite and least favorite thing about being a YouTuber? For me, it's what I mentioned at the start of the video.
My favorite part is being able to do something I really enjoy and not having to be stuck at a job just to make money, you know? I can earn money doing something I enjoy, and that brings me a lot of satisfaction. The part I dislike most, aside from possible stress, is not knowing my monthly earnings. That really stresses me out since money matters. People who say no, yes, it is important. And so, since it all depends on what you record, what you do, and whether people watch it, you never know how much you're going to earn at the end of the month, and that causes you stress because you think, and how much am I going to make? I have to keep doing more. You keep checking it because the app gives you updates every day.
Yes, it updates. Sometimes you earn or lose.
All the YouTubers here do it. I do too. Every morning you wake up and immediately open YouTube Studio.
Refresh.
Refresh. Is the arrow green and up, green and down, or gray? Also, how much am I earning?
Green up means positive, gray means down.
It's negative.
I get sad.
And you go into the earnings section. Oh, how much am I going to make this month? How much does it say I'm going to generate this month? I do that all the time.
Everything is exceptional. My favorite part is that it's also what you said, it's doing what you love, but also the freedom and the time it gives me too, you know? To manage my own time, that's really good and gives you a lot of freedom. You feel like, I don't know, it's something that unfortunately not everyone can enjoy, but if we have it now, then we have to be very grateful. Every day I am really thankful for this. And sometimes I say, oh, I don't want to keep going, but then I say, but look at everything I've achieved and I have to be grateful for that. And my least favorite part, well, is the stress and anxiety, of course, that it causes me. Having to always deliver a quality product that you all like and like keeping you entertained, keeping you hooked on the channel. That part is pretty negative because it causes you so much stress all the time. Like, what do I do now? What if they don't like this video? What if they do like this one? Or what if they criticize me for saying something in this one? When editing, you wonder if you should cut something because of possible criticism. It's tough, and there's also social isolation. Sometimes I spend days alone at home editing, which messes with my head. Then I tell myself I need to stop and get some air. You know what has really helped me?
Oh, how gross. See, I'm picking up the whole bell thing.
You know something that's really helped me with how lonely this job can be? Going to the gym. It's really helped me relieve stress. I don't know how. You know, I always go to the gym in the mornings and it's like that stress gets released from my body, my mind feels free, and then I start working and I feel so much better. On the days I don't go to the gym, actually I feel worse. And well, that's it. I really hope you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, to this channel, to Gretel's channel. And remember that every Friday we have a new video. Leave your comments down below, whatever you think, and leave a like. Tell me if you think it's an easy or hard job. It doesn't matter. You are free to share whatever opinion you want, but with love. But always with love and respect. Sending a big kiss. See you next week.
Bye.